conversation, which you said was not going to be controversial, but we could do a whole seminar on the history that you portrayed. I'll just make a few remarks. First, you said that there is no foreign big expansionist agenda, imperialist agenda of Christianity, and it's sort of overdone. Here's a book by Princeton professor Robert Woodnow, many of you might know, very well-known person. It's on the global outreach of American churches. And you might want to talk to him because he's actually shown what's going on. Here is another one called Exporting the American Gospel, Global Christian Fundamentalism. And this is written by well-known academic scholars. I'm happy to loan these books to you. I have actually 2 bookshelves on just this very topic. This is called The War for Righteousness, Christianity, the Great War, and the Rise of the Messianic Nation. It shows how from World War I onwards, every single foreign intervention of the United States, it had a very strong Christian element in it, very strong. Here is The Next Christendom, the Coming of Global Christianity. It talks about in different countries, Korea, India, here, there, what the grand plan is. So this is actually quite a well-studied topic. And to deny it wholesale as just, it won't cut it. You have to really look at how much has been written by these global missions themselves. I have gone to and studied what the plan is of the Mormon Church, certain evangelicals, certain Pentecostals, Vatican, and put it together, and not just sort of sat down one day and dreamt it up. And we give a lot of references so you can actually verify these things. There is a Sri Lankan doing similar work as I'm doing. His name is Sushant Gunatilak, and his latest book is called Recolonization, Foreign Funded NGOs in Sri Lanka. And I know him for the last decade, and we speak once in a while and interact by email. And he's a really thoughtful scholar, basically showing how the foreign influences are tearing Sri Lanka apart in the name of doing all this NGO work, but who are the hands behind it? And he, in fact, inspired me to write a similar book on India. Now, a lot of the history that Reverend Thompson gave about Aryans and Dravidians and who's what actually comes from this book. I'm sure you've seen this book, India is a Christian Nation?
No.
No. Okay, it comes from this book. It comes from this book because I've read it several times. So this book has been, they've given away several lakh copies all over. So it's, and it talks about, how St. Thomas came, and there is also this idea of Lemuria, which is a lost continent in the Indian Ocean, like Atlantis that sank, where the Dravidians came from. There's theory like that also. So there's a huge amount of stuff that it would take a lot of effort, lot more time, not effort, but a lot of time to go through point by point with all the statements you made about history. So I don't think I'll bother to do that, but let's keep the dialogue going. I'm not new to the thesis you're giving, so it is not like something new. That is, in fact, the established Dravidian Christianity point of view. The thesis that was given is the established point of view, which I'm taking apart point by point in the book. Now, an interesting point that Reverend Thompson said is that let there be freedom, there's no need to panic, let there be freedom, and why are we afraid of conversion? Let there be diversity. A very interesting point. If you convert to a religion that believes in exclusivity rather than pluralism, then you reduce the diversity, not increased it. It's like if there were a shop downtown saying enroll into slavery. Suppose there's a shop like that, and it's voluntary. I mean, I don't have to join. They're not forcing me, but I'm given a choice. So if they would say we are actually increasing freedom because we're giving you another choice. However, the expanded freedom, if exercised, results in slavery, which reduces your freedom. So the freedom to join a religion of exclusivity is actually, it is a very valid argument that if you join a religion of exclusivity, you've actually reduced religious freedom.
Christianity is not a religion of exclusivity.
Okay, then we have a different kind of discussion. Then we talk about a different discussion.
It's options.
No. Then we have a different kind of discussion. We need to have a series of dialogues on exclusivity claims of Christianity, and maybe you distance yourself from those, and I would be very happy if you do that.
Some Christians become Hindu.
That's fine. But I'm talking about Christianity's one son, no daughter. God is gone, no more kids, one son, no daughter, and one way. And then rival churches can claim whose way is the better way and who's more perfect and so on. But the required, the Nicene Creed, which is a requirement of every major denomination to subscribe to, very clearly says these things about the Son and the one Son, the original sin, the resurrection. That is the path. That is the path to. That is the only way. It is not. You see, it's easy to go in an interfaith session and just say, okay, we believe in this, but then go back to the pulpit and teach the only way. But because if you really meant pluralism, then you would ask a person in a third world country to stick to his religion and just be better. Why wouldn't a Hindu be able to be a better human being as a Hindu if that were a valid tradition? And I have an offer to every pastor, and Reverend Thompson is a pastor, that I will be happy to arrange a reciprocal deal with a temple and your church, if you're willing to accept it, where you will be invited to come and give every week a lecture on Christianity, and we will come every week and give a lecture to your congregation on Hinduism. I have never had a pastor accept. Now that would be good. That would be good.
Hinduism, but not casteism.
Every temple, Hindu temple, we have a Christmas time.
Yeah.
We celebrate with that. I want to see any church celebrating our Hindu holidays.
That's correct. So anyway, so this business about converting to Christianity adds diversity, I think, is actually false, because you have to qualify by saying converting to Christianity that accepts pluralism, that accepts the legitimacy of other religions would be fine. But there's a difference between tolerance, which is a very benign, patronizing attitude, and mutual respect, which says that I respect you for however you are different, but it's legitimate for you. Christians have a very hard time doing that to Hindus. And then one or two more points. There is a Christian caste system in India. There are Dalit Christians and Brahmin Christians. Christianity did not eliminate the caste system. In fact, Christianity is politically lobbying to recognize Dalit Christians as Dalits, which is an admission that they could not solve the problem. Let's not go into why it happened and so on. But the existence of a Christian caste system where Brahmins, Christians, and Dalit Christians are buried separately, and sometimes in certain churches have separate pews.
Not our Christians too. Not our Christians and Dalit Christians don't sit together.
I understand. And the fact that the church in the United States is segregated. The blacks are different, whites are different churches, and Hispanic churches. And now there is a South Indian church. Indians have a separate church, and Koreans have a church. So you cannot say that embrace Christianity to solve that problem, because charity begins at home. Christianity must first demonstrate that it has solved these problems in its own nation. And it has never been able to solve these problems.
You got to also talk about this casteism divisions within Hinduism.
Yeah, no.
You are looking at only Christians.
No, I'm saying that the claim that Christianity is exempt is not valid. Hinduism has a caste problem. Sikhs have a problem. Christians have a problem. Right. Muslims have a problem. Right. There are ashraf and ajlaf. So let's not make that the differentiator on whether someone should convert or not, because conversion has not solved that problem.
So conversion is voluntarily converted. They have the option to do that.
That's right.
That's called freedom.
No, that does
happen every day.
But let me do this.
You don't know much about what's happening.
But may I request? Let me finish 2 more points, and then we'll turn over to Q&A, and you guys can express yourselves. But 2 more points, and let me finish. Buddhism did not flourish in India. That is not a true statement. Buddhism flourished for 1,000 years after Buddha, and until the arrival of Islam. And in the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th century, we had universities, we had Nalanda, we had Takshila, we had huge amount of Buddhism, and syncretic, and places like Nepal, which never got conquered, there is that syncretic unified Hindu Buddhism that flourishes even today. There is a lot written on the Hindu-Buddhist syncretism synthesis that flourishes for a long, long period of time. And we can go into why the arrival of Islam harmed Buddhists more than it harmed Hindus. It has to do with being monastic, living in centralized places, whereas Hindus were householders. So the dynamic, the effect on the two was not the same. But until 7th, 8th, 9th century, Buddhism is fine in India for 1,000 years. That's a very long time. You cannot say it never flourished in India. And then St. Thomas was killed by Hindutva. Now, I wasn't aware that there was any Hindutva at that time, and also.
Brahminism was Hindutva.
No, but also your statement
It was
that
not said that way, but they
no,
were Hindutva.
okay. Well, also the idea that during your grandfather's time, because of Hindutva, the point is that the last couple of generations of Tamil Nadu, where your state is, were dominated by Dravidian politics. It was first Kamaraj and the Congress Party, the DMK.
I was talking about Travancore.
Okay, maybe in a little area, but I did not know of any Hindutva group getting elected into power in that in Tamil Nadu.
Not in Tamil Nadu.
In fact,
Right.
In
in fact, in the Travancore area, when in 1930s referendum was held on this issue of entry of what they call as non-Savarna Hindus into the temple, something like 75% of the caste Hindus voted for this to happen. The British actually exerted control on the king, not allow it to happen. There's a well-documented history about this, and so let's not talk about fiction and history on the same plane.